All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. With me, as usual, my boy, Colts Loyalist, and we are here on a Wednesday, dead center of the week, lots of stuff to do, and lots of stuff to go over, actually. A ton of stuff to go over. Obviously, there is some news that's dropped today that we're going to come to later on. But really, I want to get through what the actual thumbnail was about before, we kind of get pushed off to the side. Real quick, shout out to all those people that have been sitting in there for like the last 20 minutes. Chaz, what's up? Truett, appreciate you being here. Brandon, as usual, awesome. Alpha, thanks so much for being here. Thanks a lot. Shardae's in there as well. And Chuck Millsap is in. I had to say actual Millsap because there's a few Chucks. So I will get to some of your guys' questions, which I'm sure a lot of that has to do with what we were going to discuss anyhow. But first, let's talk about the Colts offense. Let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts offense the last couple weeks and whether we can take that as a sign that they're starting to gel and that the NFL needs to take notice. Loyalist, what's your thoughts?
NFL does not need to take notice. They're fine. You just let them guys stay asleep, okay? We'll just go on and do our thing. No, I agree completely. I mean, it's crazy, Guys start getting healthy, and all of a sudden they get to practice together. And what do you know? You know what I mean? This actually helped a professional football team. What a quinky dink. But, yeah, like I said, the health is going our way. We're getting ready to get, sounds like we're getting ready to get Quenton back either this week or next week, which I'm so hyped for. I'm like, heck yeah. I love the problems. Now we're worried about, oh, no, what are we going to do with Chris Reed? Because he's earned all, the respect of the coachings and stuff. Hey, I love that problem. I'd rather have too many guys trying to find spots for him than I would, what we've been enduring over the last couple months, unfortunately, especially there at the tackle situation. But, yeah, these guys, Carson's, like I said, the practice factor to this, we've seen some throws last week there to T.Y. in Paris that you don't make those throws, especially that long one to T.Y. You don't make that throw without having an idea of what this guy's speed is and what part of that field is, because that throw was amazing. So, yeah, like I said, I feel like the offensive line's getting healthier. Carson's getting more connected with these guys. And we've got some really, really tough working, hard-hitting young guys out there. Jonathan Taylor, Zach Pascal, Michael Pittman Jr. These guys are working, they're working their job, but then they're also, whenever they're the accessory, like in blocking and stuff, they are really putting forth that extra effort to make this offense more dynamic.
Yeah. I believe so too. I feel like this offense is in a very similar situation to what the Colts offense was last year, right? Mm-hmm. Last year there was no training camp, so the guys really didn't have time to gel with each other. Then we had injuries, right? Rivers was still trying to learn his receivers and understand the blocking schemes because he had no real time with them. And then Marlon Mack goes down. Jonathan Taylor jumps in right away. You can kind of march that in with the same thing as, offensive line have injuries. We didn't have all our guys there. So, it was kind of a stall there as well. And then, of course, we had injuries at wide receiver too last year. We had them this year now. Obviously, with Paris Campbell now gone for I don't know how long. It's a foot injury. They're not telling us exactly what it is or how long yet. They say it's significant and could miss a large portion of the season, but they're not knocking out that it's season ending. The big thing is we saw this last year. the Colts kind of stumbled out the gate offensively because of all the things that they were dealing with, right? And then about week 6 or so, they started to hit that stride. And, well, guess what? About week 5, week 6, the Colts offense started hitting their stride this year too, right? And that's after Carson Wentz had to go through 2 separate injuries. You know, the one where he had the surgery where he missed practically all training camp and preseason. And then, of course, the ankle injuries. So he really didn't have a whole lot of practice time with the guys or game time with the guys. And then, of course, our offensive line's got issues. And they're looks like they're starting to come back now as well. Would love to see what, I'd love to see what a starting offensive line can do in a game. I really
absolutely
would. I mean that's some. I mean, here's the deal. Okay, I get that some of you are like, well, start Reed over Glowinski because Glowinski needs to step. Well, you got to remember Glowinski's had kind of crap off to the other side of him for a lot of the season, and Kelly was not moving to his expectations either. For a lot of the season as well. This whole offensive line has been crap. Now, to be fair, Glowinski's been the only consistent guy we've had for 3 years straight. He hasn't missed a game. Everybody else on that offensive line has missed a game. So, give the man some credit where credit's due. He's came out here and he's played his butt off and he's been available, right?
I think Glowinski's curse is, just the level of comparison. Everybody wants to compare Glowinski to Quenton Nelson. No, I mean, you sit there and everybody's going to look average compared to a Quenton Nelson, which arguably is the best guard, not much of an argument, in the entire NFL, So, yeah, I feel like Glowinski, there's always somebody, there's always somebody that the fan base always just sort of treats like the whooping post or whatever. But And thank goodness Glowinski's got them big shoulders. He's like, I got this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this offensive line, if we didn't have Glowinski here, that would, and if we had somebody that was, of the average in the league and stuff, we would then be screaming for Glowinski. So, like I said, let's just be thankful for what we got and hold on to him as much as we can.
Absolutely. I 100% believe that. Glowinski's an average to above average guard in the NFL, and I'll take that. Well over having a below average guy, right? And if he's our weakest link, supposedly weakest link, on our offensive line, and he's like above average, I'll take that all day. But you know what? There were games this year where he wasn't the weakest link. He was the guy holding the damn team together. Because injuries here, there, and like week 1, both our tackles were out and, Ryan Kelly wasn't doing well. The only solid play that we had was at the guard positions, both of them, between Nelson and Glow. So, calm down a little bit. I understand Reed's younger, I get that, but we're going to find out. Because from what I understand, what Frank Reich said, Glow is still the starter at right guard, is what he said. Mm-hmm. And he will continue that if Nelson starts. But Reed has played himself into some snaps. So he will probably be, relieving, heck, he might be relieving Nelson a few times, both Glowinski and Nelson, because Nelson's coming back from that ankle sprain. He's probably want to put him on a pitch count as well, and that'll help them stay fresh and strong for the fourth quarter. Just kind of, you don't see that very often. You don't hear about teams needing to do that with their offensive line, but if you got the depth to do it, why not? Right? I mean, come on. I get you want to have your best guys out there, but if you're running the ball, as fans want to do, fans want to run the football, right? Now, if our running game gets 30 carries, I would think that throughout that part, you would want to interchange some of your offensive linemen. That way in the fourth quarter, their arms and legs ain't just beat ass tired, and they'll be able to block even better in the fourth quarter, and which is where Jonathan Taylor generally shines the best anyhow, because the other team's too tired to keep up with his freakish speed and the ability to, bring him down because of how, much of a bulldog he is at breaking tackles. So I really think that this is going to be a good job. I think this is a situation where Frank is doing this right. He's leaving Glow at starter, but he's going to pitch in Reed occasionally just to, give him some snaps and stuff like that. And like I said, I really hope that Quenton Nelson, if he starts, same thing, because his ankle can't be 100% yet.
Yeah, if that's the case, do you sit, Quenton Nelson? Do you let him have that extra week? Because, everybody's been watching Darius and what he's struggling through. And I'd have to believe that, going out there every week and banging up that body and banging up that injury and stuff, I would have to think would draw out that healing process. You know what I mean? And I know it's even when I say it, it almost sounds ludicrous. No, if Quenton Nelson is healthy enough that he can play, you play him. I understand. But I just, like I said, there's a little bit of me that has that comfort in what we've seen from Reed and stuff to say that, if you feel like there's enough advantage gained in 1 week more, let's go. Let's, let them sit out another week. Because like you said, these guys, especially in the run blocking and stuff, holy heavens, the 2 touchdowns were both over the left side. Did you see the second, that shorter touchdown in the red zone? I'm pretty sure my mom could have scored a touchdown through that block. There was 4 or 5 yards on each side of JT whenever he hit the hole. It was awesome.
Yeah, I hear you 100%. Now there is the thing that we got to think about. All right, so we are playing against San Francisco. San Francisco's got a solid front seven, maybe the best in the NFL. Right? They got a very good front seven. And here's the deal. I know the Colts want to talk about 1-0, and a lot of us fans will want to say 1-0. But it's hard not to look up to that next game against the Titans and go, that Jeffrey Simmons fella, did you see what he did on the very last play of the game against Buffalo? You can't have him do stuff like that against us. So you would want Quenton Nelson to be 100% when he goes up against Simmons against the Titans when we play them. I think the Colts need to play this smart. Obviously, if he's ready to go, like you said, play him. But if he's not at 100, if he's not at 90%, then give him some rest. If you have to, like I said, put Reed in there a few times. Put him on a pitch count. I'll be okay with that.
And I'll be honest with you, with Bosa over Fisher and stuff, that matchup just terrifies me this week. You know what I mean? And then I'm wondering, if Quenton with this ankle injury, is he going to be mobile enough to be able to, to shift his help out, or is a healthier Reed going to be more beneficial to Fisher? I understand Q can hold his ground, but whenever he starts having to shift over and stuff like that to help pick up, because Bosa's a beast, and Fisher, I understand that he's still getting his game legs back and stuff like that, but after what I saw last week, getting beat on the inside like that with that little trip move that he did to save Carson, I was just like, man, if that would have been a Bosa, I would not have wanted to have been Carson Wentz in that spot. You know what I mean?
I get it.
He's special.
But at the same time, this again, Fisher's a guy who jumped in right out of his injury and basically started playing immediately. Right? As soon as he started full practice, he started playing. Wasn't in 100% football shape, wasn't, ready, fully. And he's slowly been working himself. And he's gotten better and better and better. If you take 1 or 2 plays where a tackle's like, you know what, he got beat, and then fine. He got beat 1 or 2 times. I get it. You don't want your quarterback to get hit. But at the same time, you can't expect a guy to win. Quenton Nelson doesn't win every down. You know what I mean?
No.
He doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric Fisher's not going to win every down either. But if he wins 90%, 95% of the downs, then I would say I'm okay with that. Now, with Bosa's a stud. Not going to disagree with you on there. But at the same time, we also have tight ends out there that can help out, right? So I actually like the Colts offense against the Niners here coming up. I really do. I think we've got all the tools to do a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I do too. And you hear this talk about moving Quenton out to tackle and all this stuff. And I'm just not see, and that's why I feel disconnected, because I just don't understand that. Quentin's already stated that that's not his preference. We had this discussion all offseason about how amazing of a guard he is, and if you move him out to tackle. And Fisher, yes, Fisher has not been that Anthony Costanzo straight out of the gate. But like you said, this dude he's working his way back. The only way you're going to get that is through reps. Because a lot of that is between the ears. Getting that confidence and sitting there and doing something and just being like, oh, okay, that didn't hurt as bad. All right, and just gaining that little more confidence and that little more explosion or that little more stretch in a step or something. Whatever it takes to make some of these plays that he's fallen just a little short on.
Let's make this easy. If you don't like the way Fisher's playing, let's go get Holden back. Let's go get Tebby. Let's go get Davenport. Put him in there.
They said you had to go get. No need to get hateful.
Fisher's doing fine, I think.
Yeah.
Given that he's still fighting his way back, like I said, that one or two plays a game, you're going to expect it.
And some of the things he's catching heat for, like that. I still say Owen was offsides on that sack of Carson, and then like some of those little where the defender looked like he jumped into the neutral zone, and hey, I'm fine with that. If you're going to get that call more often than not, and it was very close. And like I said, the camera, what we saw from TV, I didn't see enough to sit there and be able to make a decision either way. As a fan, I'm like, he was offside. So
I didn't have a good angle on it. I saw him jump, but I didn't have an angle to see if he was actually offsides or not when Fisher jumped. And that trip, that was a veteran move by Fisher. He got beat that one time. He knew that Wentz was a sitting duck, and he's like, no, fall down.
See, and I hear people complaining, saying that he put Carson at risk by tripping him because then he hit Carson low. Let me tell you, you may think that he put Carson at risk. He may have put an ankle at risk. Carson's life was at risk if he doesn't stick that foot out, because he was getting ready to get lit the heck up. So,
I will guarantee you. I'll guarantee you Carson, after that play, was like, thank you, Fisher. Thank you.
Yeah, it didn't get him taken off the Christmas list. That's for sure.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Man, got a bunch of new people in here. Guys, don't forget, smash that like button, hit subscribe. If you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell so you are notified next time I go live. FaZe, what's up? Appreciate you being in here. Thanks for showing up. Brian's in here as well. What's up, Nomadic? We got Lucas. Lucas Robbins is in here. Hey, what's up? Brandon Stuthers is in here as well. And Marquis Beverly, Anthony Hurt. Anthony says, watch Eason's going to ball out for someone else. We might as well go ahead and jump to that little conversation because I got a feeling he's going to be balling out for Seattle, because Seattle picked him up, claimed him off of waivers. And I think that now Reich straight said that Eason was good. Was there stuff he needed to work with? Yes. But he wanted him back on the practice squad because he felt he needed a little more time, right? The Seahawks are in a situation where they need somebody now, right? Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised give it a couple weeks, you might see Eason out there once he learns a little bit of their playbook. I know I know Loyalist's feelings about this, but
I love Coach Wright. You know that. I mean, but I'll tell you right now, I don't know of too many players that I'm rooting for to just go out and be like, look, because I understand you're always going to get, when you ask a question, you get this coach speak, and you got to sort of weave through it and pull out your bits and pieces of facts, and then, my gosh, everything about the way this has been handled from training camp. Now, mind you guys, we went and seen them week in, week out through all of training camp, and we've seen it. And we kept coming back saying, the Jacob Eason's way outperforming Sam Ehlinger, even when everybody else was not telling that same, outcome. So,
and it was obvious, and it became obvious even in preseason, and people were still trying to say, oh, well, Sam Ehlinger outplayed Eason. Eason outplayed Ehlinger by a mile in all the preseason games.
Yeah, and like I said, you sit there and you look at, okay, boom, all of a sudden Carson goes down. Now Eason's got his chance. They put him out there for what? 5 plays, I think it was, at the end of that LA game. And then the following week, it's like, no, they pulled the rug out from him. And I just want to know. The coach sits there, and I understand he's not going to bash a guy or whatever, But don't just sit there and keep selling this story to us and then turn around and never give the guy a chance. Because it's not because his arm was too weak. It wasn't because of his lack of mobility. Because, yes, he wasn't Carson Wentz, but he still had enough mobility, and he still had enough. I don't like the way this was handled, just like I didn't like the way the whole Sasha Ray thing was dealt with. But in both instances, I just hope those guys go out and do everything that we saw them do. Because I honestly believe that Jacob Eason is, as long as he's got the mental game, and I would have to believe after all the roller coaster of you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out type stuff that he's dealt with, I'd have to say his mental game's fairly strong. So, like I said, I hope he goes to Seattle and starts turning their season around for him.
Yeah, I think so too. I hope so. It would be really cool to see Jacob Eason step in and do something nice. But at the same time, we got to worry about the Indianapolis Colts, right?
Yeah.
And with the situation that we got right now, I was looking at some stats about the Niners so far this year. And then I looked down, and Kenneth Avanowski, you are the man. Appreciate you so much. Drop $10 in the tip jar. Thank you so much. He used that link right here in the description to do a super chat. He says, glad you guys are being truthful about Eason. Very strange. Cut by the Colts. I get you. And there, I'm not saying Eason was ready to be a starter in the NFL by any means.
No.
You know what I mean? And I agree with Reich. He needed more time to be a starter because he did have issues breaking down the defense at the line. He did have issues adjusting protection and pocket awareness, realizing where the pressure's coming from while he's in the pocket. He had those issues that he's got to deal with. But he only had 2 years of college, no practice last year because he was on the practice squad last year for the Indianapolis Colts. The only thing he's had is 2 years of college and one off season, to get that stuff. And he had to jump not only from just playing 2 years of college, then he got to go to the NFL after 2 years of college, which is a big step in learning NFL offenses compared to, college offenses. And then take that step again because Frank Reich's scheme and offense, his playbook is a lot tougher than your average NFL playbook, and how they, design things and what they ask of you as a quarterback. So, Ehlinger might be more ready now. I think Eason is better long term. That's how I look at it. You get what I'm saying?
I
I know.
I understand about the process into the offense and stuff, but I'm telling you right now, I felt like Eason had enough of that. He had enough of that in his gameplay and stuff. I mean, if Ellinger was so much of an advantage, then why during all the preseason, was it there this massive, for me personally, this massive gap, and it was just always arm talent. I mean, but no, I sit there and I watch, what Ellinger does with the ball when it goes to the air, and I'm just like, no, that's just not going to get it done. I mean, and that the ceiling is just so low. And the thing is you sit there and you talk about the experience and stuff, but the Colts knew that going in. You know what I mean? And then it's like, oh yeah, he's been in the organization for 2 years, that he doesn't know the playbook. I don't know. Like I said, it's all over a backup quarterback, so it doesn't change my outlook on the coaches or anything. But they're human, and I can honestly say I feel like if they could turn the clock back and deal with this situation, I think that there was a lot of opportunities to make it a better situation for everybody involved.
Hey, Master Blaster, we were actually talking about that. No, he did not make waivers. Seattle claimed him. They wanted to get him on the practice squad, but I didn't expect them to clear waivers. Someone else, big names. We already talked about Q coming back to practice. Guess who else is practicing right now? Daio Odeyingbo.
Like a storm. Is that a storm I hear?
This hurricane rolling in. Now, don't get too excited, Colts fans. All right? First off, it was already mentioned in there, well, he can't even come back until week 8, play. Yes, I don't expect him to play till way after that. I don't care if he's 100% healthy right now. He has not had any practice all year. He has been recovering from the Achilles injury. He has not had any NFL practice in his life. Okay? I don't expect Daio to actually do anything or come onto a field till at least week 12. Okay? But still, him returning to practice now shows that he will probably be able to play later on in the season. And if by what I think is going to happen and the Colts just continue to get better, throwing him in there beside a DeForest freaking Buckner, both of them very similar types, will help when we're making our push for the playoffs. Because I believe we still have that shot, and I believe that we honestly can, as long as we continue to make that incremental jump each and every week.
Absolutely. I mean, we remember how we started talking about this show, you know what I mean? Last year, Phillip Rivers, about week 6. Okay, this year, once again, about week 5 or week 6. So now let's think about this. If we get Daio on the field week 12, week 13, now all of a sudden we get into the playoffs, which will be week 5, week 6 of his actual being in and having those practices and seeing game speed and stuff. So like you said, this is where hopefully we'll start seeing these when things will just start becoming more natural for him. It won't be as much him thinking about it as much as just the instinctual part of the game will start kicking in and stuff. Because like you said, I mean, this kid's immeasurables, and to hear how the organization talks about him. But most importantly for me was to hear what DeForest said about him, and to hear how DeForest was talking about how the way, that he's out of the norm as far as picking up and the understanding everything. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I've heard now DeForest talk about 3 separate players, and it's always good and going, but he never sat there and was as detailed and specific as he was whenever he was talking about Daio. And like I said, for me, that was just like hearing that come from him. I was just like, oh yeah, I mean, it sounded to me like he could already see this piece fitting into the puzzle, and that's awesome because, as we all know, DeForest is going to be a very important piece of that puzzle for years to come, hopefully.
Oh, he's going to be a huge piece of the puzzle when it comes to this week's game against the Niners. He's already talked about Walking
I
into
love
this
that.
game with the idea of it's time to show you what you done gave away. You know,
I just love it. Whenever a player just sits there and lets their guard down a bit, goes, oh yeah, it's personal. It's just like,
Yeah.
there you go. I didn't need to hear anything else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Alpha says that Daio has got the number 54. I saw that. 54. That is an important number. And you better live up to that number 54 because a certain Anthony Walker Jr. wore that and made it look good. All right. So you better make it look as good, if not better, in my opinion.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, there's been a few linebackers over the years that have wore that jersey also and put some respect to that.
Yep. Oh, with the Colts especially.
Yeah.
King Cracker, Ninkowski, what's up? Appreciate you being in here. I got a few more people, FaZe. See that you had to go. I will talk to you later. Skylar and Kirsten's in here as well. Appreciate each and every one of you. Please don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tag that notification bell so that you're notified next time I go live. Oh, and by the way, I'm the Backroom Collection, the company that we're sponsored by, sent me some pics of stuff for me to choose from my own personal canvas painting that I'm getting. So that's really cool. And if you guys want some, well, it's not hard. All you got to do is, this. This channel is proudly sponsored by the Backroom Collection. They do beautiful sports canvas art with football, basketball, baseball, and other sports themes. Special orders are accepted and autograph pieces are available. Many Indianapolis Colts signed pieces will be available beginning in November. Just use your discount code CL10 to purchase the pieces you want to spice up your living area. That's CL10. My mic is quiet, huh? Let me go change that. I'm sorry. Let me get that. It shouldn't be. My mic should be just fine. My mic is turned all the way to max. Here. I am now in the office. Right in your ear. Hopefully you can hear me fine now. It tickles my nose. All right, guys. So I don't know, man. This is we're gonna break down the Niners game a lot more tomorrow when I do with DeQuell, and then Friday when Loyalist and I do our normal Friday thing. So we'll get to that at that point. Right now, man, I'm excited about the offense. The offense in general.
Yes.
The defense, that's something else. There's a lot to work with still there. This offense is scary. Okay, so we were talking about Eric Fisher, right? And the two times that he got penalized, right? The one for the tripping call, and the other one was with where he reached across, which we're both okay with because he was trying to get that offsides penalty, and he's going to win that more times than not. Those were the only two penalties the entire game for the Colts. 2 penalties, 10 yards. I'll take that every day, all day. Any day, all day. Because...
Yeah, and then double down, no turnovers, and everything else on top of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the football that this offense has been playing has been clean. You know what I mean? Like you said, to me, I feel like last week's game was a little smoke and mirrors in the rushing because, I mean, JT only ran the ball, 14 times, I think, in that one 80-plus yard, 83-yard run, that really skews things. I would have liked to have seen more of that run, but I understand. I got it. You know what I mean? Carson and T.Y. and Harris and the rest of those guys, they knew that the secondary was something that they were ready to expose, and I love it.
Honestly, this is the fact that Wentz last week, man, he looked so good. Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get he was only like 50% passing, but he was careful with the football. He wasn't putting it in any kind of danger so that there was no turnovers. He was putting it only where his receivers could get it. And he was hitting people downfield and taking a hit to do so. All right?
Yeah.
That shot to T.Y., he took a lick on that. All right? But Wentz is doing a good job. I think Wentz is by far – I honestly think Wentz is our MVP right now. I get that Jonathan Taylor's doing well. I get that. But without Wentz, we wouldn't have been even close in some of these games. I honestly don't think so. We might have been able to do something without Jonathan Taylor because we have a deep backfield. But without Wentz, we'd be 0-5 right now. I have no doubt about that in my mind. And a lot of people want to talk about, where do you rank Wentz right now? Is he a top 10 player in the NFL? Do you think so, Loyalist? Top 10 quarterback. Man. Quarterback.
Yeah.
Not player.
Yeah,
quarterback.
And I'm sitting here, because I like what Dak Prescott's putting out there. Then you got the Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady's crushing. So top 10, he's right in that. I would say 10 to 12 range for me. I haven't taken enough time to sit there and really take that question and break it down. But like I said, whenever I sit there and I think about Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and Buffalo quarterback. Even though he led us, even though he didn't do what we needed him to do last Monday, but like I said, there is a lot of good quarterback play. But the thing is Carson has been everything this team has needed, and light years more. I remember when we first signed Carson, everybody's like, "Oh, Carson, 2020 was horrible." Blah blah blah. Yeah, but you know what? We're like, no, we don't need him to be a superstar. We don't need him to be Superman. But you know what? If we've got a Clark Kent that every once in a while just tries the cape on just to see what it looks like on a 52-yard pass to Paris Campbell or a 51-yard pass to T.Y. Hill, that's okay. That's perfect. Because like I said, I do really want to. The first half, I was surprised not to see JT and Naheem and even Marlon Mack get a little bit more play, But like I said, I feel like Carson, hands down, is what brings this team together. And like I was telling you when we were doing the live viewing and stuff, Carson was just having fun. You could just see it out there. It was like, okay, I'm just going to throw this one away. That's a play. People are like, oh, that's no big deal. That's a huge deal. That was one of Carson Wentz's things. He's never, given up on a play in a moderate amount of time. Now we're starting to see a little bit of signs of that. So, we just keep finding this growth and this team just keep growing together, getting healthier together. And then, like I said, these wide receivers, man, you can see it. In Michael Pittman Jr.'s play, you can see it in Paris Campbell when he was healthy. These guys are they're ready to blow this thing open.
All right, so I want to get to Truett's question because he's got a good question here. And there's been quite a few really good questions, by the way. And those of you that are part of my Patreon, I am going to definitely jump to you first when I can. Like I said, if you want to get to another question, you want to make sure that I see it and bring it up, feel free and use that link down here in the description. We'd really appreciate it. Help us with our content and, keep us going, and as well make sure that we get to your question. But Truett says, will Jonathan Taylor run out of gas before the end of the season in the playoffs? And I'm going to say this right now. He hasn't even came close to the amount of touches that he, even last year, than what he got in Wisconsin on a yearly basis, right? Not even close. He was getting 350 to 400 touches a year in Wisconsin. That's ridiculous. Jonathan Taylor ain't coming anywhere near that with the Colts because we got to, like you said, Loyalist, we have an offense right now that can throw the ball and throw it different places on the field at any given moment. So I don't see a problem here, especially with the fact that Reich tends to use his backup running backs often as well.
Yeah. And, and I'm sitting here, I was thinking about this earlier today. It's like, what? Okay, if we wanted more improvement, what would it be? Okay, I mean, aside from health, okay, aside from the offensive line being healthy, what is it that we're lacking? I mean, and I sit there and I look at it, and the only thing I could come up with consistently was I would just like to see a little bit more from our tight ends. I mean, we haven't hardly seen anything from Granson, and I know that was something that was a nice curiosity piece to see. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, honestly, if this team can get better on third down conversions and red zone conversions, which there again, to me, that just seems like more of just getting familiar with one another, knowing what, if you're going to be drifting, where are you drifting to the field? You know what I mean? What is, if this defender does this, knowing what your receiver, how he's going to counteract that, and then making those connections and stuff. And I think, honestly, this offense just needs more time and more time because, like you said, I feel like we broke down that opening barrier, as far as just getting used to getting in football shape and stuff. And now I do believe, like I said, let's get that third down conversions, picked up and get those. I mean, let's just keep going 100% like we did last week in the red zone. And then, by the end of the year, let's see where that thing stands. Lucas
down here talking about you need to give the ball to Mo in the red zone. Now, that third and goal, I am glad they gave it to Jonathan Taylor and let him run it in. I think that was the best, smartest play for two reasons. One, all year, the Colts have went run, and then if it makes third and goal, they end up passing it, and teams would immediately jump off for that. Well, this team's done their study too, and they were expecting that, and it showed that they were, because they came in hard on the outside edges and didn't hit that inside push, and Jonathan Taylor just walked in basically, on that third down touchdown. So that was a smart and good play call by Reich. And on top of that, it rewarded Jonathan Taylor for an 83-yard freaking run to say, here you go get your touchdown to go with it. So I was very, very happy that it turned out the way it did. But with Mo Alley-Cox in the red zone, I agree, Lucas. I agree. Get the ball to him. And Carson is throwing the ball in his direction more and more often. I am noticing that. And he's hitting him downfield, too. Not just short stuff like in the red zone or stuff. He's throwing it downfield to Mo and putting it where, other than that one really bad pass, because that was a bad pass, that he threw it way behind Mo Alley-Cox.
Oh, the cross.
Yeah. And, I mean, Mo had to slow down, turn around, reach back with both hands and barely got his hands, tips, fingers on. Yeah, it was a bad pass by Wentz. It was one of the only few real bad passes because, in my opinion, when he's throwing it over their head and it's just like fingertips like he did on the sideline that one time, that wasn't a bad pass. That was Wentz.
That's the Mo zone.
Yeah.
That's what I call the Mo zone.
Yeah, and it was close. And he's getting – that's Wentz and Mo Alley-Cox learning each other. And we're seeing it start to happen where they're trying to dial it in perfectly to right where he can reach that ball and the other guys can't. Right?
A good example is that corner end zone pass that was on the back shoulder that Mo I'm telling you right now, I honestly believe this, that as the year goes, those are the type of plays that those are going to be connected passes in the end zone. Those are going to be, okay, Mo just gets comfortable with knowing right where that ball are in the area and just making those catches. Because let's not forget, okay, Mo is, he's not a seasoned veteran that's played football his whole life, you know what I mean? And at this level, he's just now starting to really get his opportunity over the last year and a half or so. So, yeah, like you said, I feel like just keep going to that play because in Mo we trust. I mean, that dude he's mind-boggling what he looks like whenever defenders get out there. I mean, it's awesome to sit there and watch it go up, and then he does this little, mouse in the house type thing and stuff like that. I'm like, well, all my supporting to you, Mo. he's a mammoth of a man.
Yeah. I like Pascal. I think Pascal's been a great target this year. Obviously, Michael Pittman Jr. between the 20s has been solid. Not so much in the red zone, but between the 20s, he's been pretty good. That deep touchdown where Pittman just mossed the dude, and then carried him and his buddy, the safety, on into the end zone, for a touchdown. That was just stupid, ridiculous stuff. And then of course, we'll find out what's going on with Ty and his quad. But I expect him to probably play. Frank is saying, Frank is talking about Ty and saying, I don't know yet. I don't have enough information. I expect him to play. I really do.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't practice all week, Ty don't need practice to play, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, I know this team's used to playing without Paris Campbell, but from what we saw last week, okay, how much does that hurt us, losing that second player that can stretch the time? Unless, obviously, we bring DeMichael Harris up or something to that line.
Well, I mean, Ashton Doolin can do that as well. He's got some quickness. Doolin does, and he got some snaps last year in replacement of Paris Campbell. So we'll see how that works out. Obviously, we still got to see what's going on with Strawn. Don't know what's going on with him. They were really high on him early in the year, and then his snaps just disappeared. So we'll see what goes on in that aspect as well. But yeah. Oh, I know everybody. Okay, so Blackman has an Achilles injury. You knew about that, right?
No.
Yeah. It's an injury to his foot, the back of his foot. Apparently, it's around his Achilles. They don't know how significant it is, but he's not practicing. And Kenny Moore put out a tweet with broken hearts. So that's a curious. Now, that's not a give me that, something is bad with Blackman. That could just be, Kenny Moore didn't get his cheese sauce with his pizza he ordered last night. You don't know, right? I mean, so hopefully.
He does like his cheese sauce.
He loves his. Everybody loves their cheese sauce. Come on now. Jeez. Now. Hopefully, Blackman will get his butt out there and be able to play. Hopefully, it's not something serious because he has really stepped up the last couple weeks.
Now, was this something that just happened in practice today, or was this game related?
He's been limited in practice. Was limited. Okay, which means it maybe happened in practice. We don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, it could be fine. We don't know. We'll see. We'll see what.
I like how he's been playing. He's been that would make me feel like Kenny said, that would make me feel a little sad because I love watching when the little guys come out here and play like they're big guys, and then they turn around and do it play after play. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Blackman's been out there lighting people up.
Yes, sir.
Hitting hard, causing fumbles, just disrupting plays in the backfield, turning first downs into third downs. I mean, that's what Blackman's been doing these last few weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that hopefully we keep, because in all fairness, our safety position is not deep. Our safeties are not good once we get past the three that we have, between Blackman. The three good ones that I like right now is Blackman, Willis. Willis is more of a box safety, but, and then Sendejo. I think Sendejo's been doing very well. You brought up Sasha Ray earlier, and I don't even want to even think about what the possibility could have been had he been still on the team. Appreciate you, Papa Mayberry, for subscribing. Thanks so much. Yes, that's right. I had a nice little gift there of a guy with a guitar, playing guitar when he subscribed. That's how that works, man. Just subscribe and get your gift right there on the screen. Lucas, you're sitting there in the chat dropping stats. Go look at San Francisco's turnovers. Their defense. They have 2 all year. That's it. They've only caused 2 turnovers the entire year. We're talking about San Francisco's defense. They have 1 fumble recovery and 1 interception. That's it for the year. So, yeah, they got like 4 or 5 forced fumbles, but only 1 recovery.
that you put that along with the fact that Carson only has 1 fumble and 1 interception. It's like, hey, I like where that stands.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. All right, guys. 40 people in here. That's awesome. 50 minutes in. Please smash that like button. Hitting that like button helps us a lot, especially with the YouTube algorithm. So please smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tag that notification bell so you're notified next time I go live. And don't forget to check us out on Newsbreak, where we drop Newsbreak originals every week. And it's a free way to support us. It's a free app. You can follow me. And if you use the link in the description to do so and give me a follow, you put money in Loyalist I pocket. So, hey, that's a win-win. Win-win. This video is sponsored by Newsbreak. Newsbreak is an app used over 1.5 billion times a month by people just like you to get local news via articles or videos by those who are focused on that specific area. People like myself. Just use the link in the description of this video to download it. Then search a city, state, or someone specific, like myself, Colts Law. Then make sure to follow them so you'll get all the news fresh as it comes out. He says that, hold on. I'm looking up here. Brandon Wood says Darius Leonard has more turnovers than the Niners. Darius Leonard has more turnovers than half the teams in the NFL.
Yeah, I was curious. That's not
He's got
out of the ordinary.
He's got 5, 6. He's got 6. He's got 6 turnovers. All right. There's a lot of teams out there that don't have 6 turnovers. That's ridiculous. Okay. But anyhow, I'm not really getting into the San Francisco game yet. We're going to get into that tomorrow with DeQuell, and then on Friday with Loyalist and I, breaking into that. Wentz season's talking about the forecast. That's like almost a week away. That could change. This is.
I'd like to say something real quick. Look, guys. I don't know how many of you guys are Patreon members or whatever, but we sit there and we get these live streams and these chats. For $5 a month, guys, you can sit there. You can, be part of our Patrons. Lawrence is real cool about it. He lets the things go on forever. If he's tired, he's like, all right, I'll leave and you guys have at it and stuff. But it's a good time. If you want, you get to sit there and put your mug on the screen if you want. I mean, you guys ought to check it out because I think that this particular group of people and listening to the chat and stuff, that'd be a good time for them.
Yeah, we do have a great time with that, and that is tomorrow. Every Thursday, generally 8 o'clock. I think we had it Wednesday last week, but that was because scheduling was all messed up due to my personal life and the fact that we had a Monday night football game. But this week it'll be back to this normal 8 o'clock. And then, of course, I got a lot of stuff I'm doing. Oh, my goodness. I got people hitting me. I got all kind of San Francisco 49ers podcasts hitting me up, asking me to join and talk Colts. So that's going to be something as well. Born Again's in here. Daio will be coming soon by week 8. He'll be off the eligibility pup list. Yeah, we discussed that earlier, Born Again. I appreciate you being in here. But like I said, I don't expect Daio to be playing anytime before week 12, even though he'll be practicing. There's a bunch of other stuff that you got to think about. that Daio. Anyhow, bunch of stuff that he has to do in order to get back into football shape and be prepared to actually play in the NFL. But yes, it will be great to watch when he gets out there. But guys, it's been an hour. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to be joining Ray Route over on DPN. Well, actually, I don't think it's even called DPN anymore. I think it's called Shenanigans. He might have rebranded again because Connor's retired. So I haven't even checked Twitter to see if he sent me the link or even mentioned it. But hey, we are here, and at any time you want to reach out to me or Loyalist, you're more than welcome to do so. Drop something in the chat. Check us out over on Twitter. Our links is in the description. As a matter of fact, actually, right on my page, you can check out all of my stuff. I got little links now on my page, up in the upper right hand corner, to Twitter, to Patreon, to the merch shop. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I have a merch shop, ladies and gentlemen. So feel free to check out that description as well. The link in the description. Got a bunch of cool stuff. It's getting cold. But yeah, I am out of here. And any final words, Loyalist?
No, I just appreciate you having me on. And go Colts.
Go Colts. I like that. I definitely like that. Gorgon Ninkovsky, before I go, I want to see what he says. Man, when you go on the other podcasts, what kind of things do you talk about? Because you are a pro at this media thing. Dude, I appreciate that you feel that way. Thanks so much. We talk about whatever the heck they want to talk about. Generally, they ask me about the Colts, and I give them my personal, unfiltered opinion about it. It's not like I'm afraid they're going to run off and go tell the head coach, Shanahan, that Buckner's going to be bringing it this week, because I'm pretty sure Shanahan already knows this. So, it's all good. We just, whatever. Sometimes we go and we talk about whatever. So, thanks again. Appreciate each and every one of you. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tag that notification bell so that you're notified when we upload or go live. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Colts Loyalist, and as usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.